today, guys, you must be really spellbound because today you're going to see and hear from one of the top leaders, okay? An amazing power couple from Europe. They are based in Spain. I've not met them, but I've heard a lot about them. When I met them in Tenerife just a couple of months back, I was blown away. The things that they shared, their story is amazing. I strongly encourage you all to at least have something in front of you, whether it's a notepad, an iPad, write something down. You never know. Just one thing that you take away from today's interview may change your life.
Coming up next is a short ad about my book. If you're curious or want to show your support, stay tuned. Otherwise, feel free to skip to 113.
If you all still haven't gotten this book yet, okay, you may want to get this book. You can get it on Amazon.com. I basically make it so affordable, everybody can get it. It's only, like $6 US. So buy a lot of these books and give it to your friends and your business partner. Without further ado, guys, please put our hands together and welcome this super amazing couple all the way from Spain, David and Gema Martinez. Come on, guys.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hola.
Buenos días a todo el mundo. For energy, we can feel this energy with the sound here. We are outdoor and we are feeling your energy. It's like no border here. Malaysia is here in Almeria with us in our town. Thank you for having us.
Firstly, David and Gema, what was life like? The Kangen Power Team International, as well as everybody here and all the people that will be seeing your videos in YouTube. Thank you so much. Muchos gracias for your time. I know you have very little children still, and you have a big organization that you need to handle, and yet you still willingly want to do this interview with me. So thank you so much. What was life like?
Well, before Enagic, both David and I have a very extensive background because we are very active people. So we did a lot of things. We went to uni, we studied journalism, and then we went into the corporate world. We did a lot. We got burnout in the corporate world. And then there was a switch and I went into teaching. David started his own business in travel insurance. I was working 40-hour weeks and David was working 12-hour days. I had more of a work-life balance than David because he worked 12-hour days and he brought the computer to bed. But he didn't have a boss, so he was free. He's always been an entrepreneur at heart. So that was us. David wanted us to build something together because he had his own business and he was like, it's kind of time for us to do things together. But I was very resistant because I saw him working 12-hour days and I was like, that's not what I want. I get to have a little bit of time free every day, whereas you really don't. And for me, I came from burnout from corporate, so I was very resistant to going back into burnout again. And I know myself, and anything I put my mind to, I'll go all in and put all of my energy in. And I was like, I don't really feel like I want to do that.
We were lacking of a lot of things. We were lacking of freedom, money, but even though I feel that since we met and even before, we part from a place of abundance. Even though we didn't have so much, we were happy and we were loving each other, watching every detail of life with the bright side. I always think that this allows us to choose by the contrast. We were watching a lot of things that we didn't like. We didn't like this type of work. We didn't like this type of styling. We didn't like this city because it's so big and it doesn't allow us to save or to move freely. So we were able to choose what we really want and to focus in what we really want.
Before we actually started our venture in Enagic, we were in a big city in the corporate world and we were like, okay, we stopped. I went into teaching. He built his business. You know, you take action. We decided we didn't want to live in the big city, so we moved to a small city. We wanted to live near the beach, so we went and lived near the beach, and we just created this life where we were like, okay, we're now living in a small beach town. We have better oriented, purposeful jobs, but we were still lacking freedom. We didn't have location freedom. We didn't have financial freedom. We wanted to do more things, and we were pretty much restricted on having an income cap every month, especially not being able to spend time with one another. That is what hurt the most. It was like, you know, this feeling when you marry the love of your life you spend more time with coworkers than with your husband, and you're like, well, this is wrong.
Yeah.
True.
I want to spend my time with him, not with coworkers.
Since the very beginning, I also remember that there were a lot of voices from our relatives and friends that were telling us that we were crazy people. Like, you cannot go everywhere with your wife. You need to be at work. We were with different ideas. We were with the ideas of freedom, of going anywhere, wherever we choose, spend time together in our case. So we were very stubborn,
Okay.
very stubborn, very not radical, but for them we were radical. We are like peculiar human beings. For them, from the very beginning, we solid this foundation thought that if it is okay with my heart, it is okay. If it is okay with Gema, this is going to be our real truth, and we are going to fight for this, and we are going to build this together, whatever it is. And I just came into our life to give a chance to develop this.
I still remember in Tenerife on Producer Day, you told me that you were doing insurance business. Insurance is somewhat like an entrepreneurship, which means they are their own boss. How much do you relate to that as a truth?
Of course not. The only freedom that I really taste a bit, it was the location one. I was, working for a computer. I need to be in contact with Madrid. So I cannot go to Malaysia because so many hours, and the connection, and you need to buy a ticket in this specific day. So it's expensive. When you are in a low ticket business, you are not free because you need to sell a lot of volume and you need to reinvent the wheel every year.
It's a very competitive market. Like with an one product, everyone has the same, everyone has access to the exact same tools. And so you don't need to innovate anything. Literally everything is given to you. You need to constantly innovate, get new launches, new products, new partnerships. It's crazy.
And at the end of the day, yeah, you are kind of building a brand, but this brand is not personal. This brand is with a logo. It's not your face. It's not who you are. Something that is not you. No.
Plus, you're constantly managing cases and taking phone calls.
In other words, you guys are like just employee that is being called an entrepreneur.
I mean, I believe entrepreneurship, if you don't have a business like Enagic, entrepreneurship is a slaving job.
Yeah.
You own a business, but you are the business. Like literally 12-hour days.
How did y'all come into Enagic?
Just an ad.
I believe it was on Instagram. Well, actually, I was the one that saw it. As I always say, we women are power women. We see the vision and then we bring our husbands. So I saw the vision quickly and I was like, I love this. David had been hammering my head with building a business. And I was like, no. I remember clearly how I always told David, I don't want to build a business. And the only reason I would build a business is going to be if I find something that's going to give me generational financial wealth. And I can put all of my time into the business, but within 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, whatever it takes, I'll get to retire and pass it on to my kids. And David used to look at me and he was like, you're just making up a ton of excuses to not build something because that doesn't exist. Like that doesn't exist. Nothing like that exists. When I came across this ad, it caught my interest. Started looking into it. And well, as I mentioned before, both David and I studied journalism. So we did a very deep journalistic research and we started to dig into everything. And then I was like, David, let's watch this together. As always, we always do everything together. And we went in, we started watching all the videos into the discovery process, watched everything. Yeah, and then we hopped on a call with her.
I remember ourselves looking for bad reviews. I always say that. But, and of course, we found bad reviews and good reviews. If you are searching for an insurance company, for instance, you are going to find tons of bad reviews. But the thing was that the business model was unquestionable. The business model was there. So you work for this, if you can commit and put your time on this, the business model is there for you. And I've never seen such an abundance compensation plan or intellectual thing. Is beautiful. It's just beautiful. It's just being built with a commitment of happiness for everyone. It changed my mind. We both have studied MBAs, Master in Business Administration, about business models, and we've never seen such a thing. Nothing close. So I was furious at the beginning, like, where was that all my life? I need this in my life. I want to find this when I were 20 years, like your daughter. For me, your daughter is a superhero. Yeah, that's the way. That's the way. So yeah, lucky us. we have found this.
What was it in the ad that actually caught your eyes? What message?
That's a difficult question to answer because I don't really remember the ad. This was like 5 years ago. We didn't
Okay.
even have so I think it was like a beach or something. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
all about
it was
water.
the sea. It was
So I
the
Okay.
think it
sea.
was
You
a
saw the
beach.
sea?
Yeah, I think it was the sea, and it says something, and I remember something about break away or like freedom,
Right.
something freedom. I don't know.
Something about breaking chains.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Don't really know. But
Okay.
what like this after you see one ad, lots of ads pop up, right? That's
Yep.
that's how the algorithm works. That's when you start to see lots of ads. And I don't really recall at the time because when we first started, like 5 years ago, ads weren't as potent as they are now. Now you can see anything, right? Like there's just so many different ads
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
You've got video ads, you've got real ads, you've got everything. So now things are different. But back then there wasn't much originality. There was just like pictures, and there weren't so many people launching ads.
But one thing that we have now is the minds are opener, that are opener than we have before. Because when we started, everyone was about question this and question that. But nowadays, we found people that are really, really sick of their lives. So even though they are, this algorithm is working out for us, because at the end of the day, they are like building this trust in these type of models that are so different, so they can
Yeah, I mean,
trust
obviously,
easier.
from 5 years ago to now, everything has developed so much. And I actually, if you know, I have a lot of people asking me like, oh yeah, then maybe it was easier to build your business 5 years ago or 9 years ago when Nate started.
No,
And
it
I always say, no,
wasn't.
it wasn't. It's easier now to build your business easier now because now people are more open-minded and they see that there's actual proof, right? Because when we started in Europe, there was barely living proof of the success. There was in the States, but that was it. And I cannot relate to dollars because I live in Europe, right? So it's like,
Right.
okay, they work in the States, but it might not work here. And hey, look at what's happened, right?
Exactly.
And there's so many untapped markets. So the time to build your business is now, and the time to go all in and to create a thriving life is now. And I cannot say that enough because had we let the fear, how we allowed the fear of the people around us get into our minds, I would still work in the school. David would still be bound and chained to his travel insurance business. We would barely see our kids. Don't even know if I had my second kid, to be honest, because life would have been so stressful.
Yeah, you are true because same thing. I started Enagic 14 years ago. People don't even use Facebook then. And people were saying like, maybe it's so much easier. I said, yeah, try it and see. Yeah, try it and see even if you survive 1 month. When we start was also a good time. 10 years ago was also a good time. 5 years ago was now is also a good time. Every time is a good time because environment is different. As a couple, why do you choose Enagic as a career? Maybe you can give us like 3 points that you think Enagic is a solid career. Yeah.
Enagic is it. Like I always say, Enagic is the golden ticket. It's the ticket to freedom. It's the only business. And I say this again and again because obviously, Gary, you know this. You are way ahead of us, and we are in a position where you can invest in other businesses. You can go and do like whatever you want to do. And I just cannot find anything like this. And again, I was a very difficult client, so to speak. Like I was very difficult. I was saying no to everything. Like we looked into, David would come up with like trading opportunities, cryptocurrency, low ticket MLMs, and I was all the time like nope, 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 nope. And when I saw Enagic, I said yes, and I sat him down and said like, you look at this, you want me to build a business with you, you want us to do something together, this is it. Why? First thing, it's a health product. It's a product that I trust. It's a product that I love, and I always said, wherever this business takes me, I want to drink that water. That water, I want it in my life. And I want my family to drink this water, and I want my future children to drink this water, and I want my mother-in-law to drink this water. So I wanted the product. I stand behind the product. And for me, it is very important to work with something that I can stand by. So it promotes health. Super important for me. Best thing that you can give, right? 70% of our body is water. You want to drink the best. So that's the first thing. Second thing, generational financial wealth. That for me was key. I was like, I'll give my everything. I'll give my all. I'll work whatever needs to be work. I'll do whatever needs to be done.
Yep.
But I want it to come to a point where I can finally relax, and I want to be able to pass this on to my kids and make them free since they're born. And I want them to be able to finish high school or not, whatever it is, the route we go through, but I want them to be able to choose their career paths in a freedom, in a way full of freedom. And I want them to be sovereign. I want them to live a life where they get to be themselves and they get to love others and give love to others and be of service to others from a place of love and from their heart without being bound to money, because they are cared for. And then what was the ribbon and like the cherry on the top was knowing that by doing this business, by making this business my life and my career path, and ours as a family, and what my kids will inherit and what they will take on, just as your daughter is doing now for you, which is a dream, is something that impacts other people's lives. You get to change the lives. This is not just about you creating abundance for your family, which is amazing, and promoting health for your family, which is amazing. No, you get to promote health and change someone else's life on a day-to-day basis. Like, I kid you not, the best thing we've ever done in life, besides getting married to each other and having our children, is this business, because we've managed to support a lot of people in our team to make multiple 5-figure months consistently, 6-figure earners. They have been able to ditch their 9-to-5s. They've been able to be present moms and present dads. Lots of present mamas that have been able to be in those first years of their kids, not miss any single milestone. And that is, we said, yes, there's nothing bigger than this. I always say, like, if there is something that is purposeful in life, is this business. So I would never, ever, ever, ever say, do something else. This is the way. This is the golden ticket for you, for your family, and to be of service to others. And as you've always said, Gary, and I stand by it, the more you give, the more you shall receive. And this business is all about giving. The more you give, you receive, and you grow together and you expand together. And it's just so beautiful. And you can see it in my face and you can see it in my heart. This is everything to me. And my mother-in-law looks at me and she's like, you're kind of crazy. And I'm like, yeah, well, let me be crazy in abundance and in joy. Because when I'm with my team, when I see my team members and I hug them and I feel them, and I have a lot of them in this call right now that they know I love and appreciate, when I get to hold their hands and hug them and know that we're in this to the dashes and beyond, and be able to create this ripple effect in the world, there's just nothing better than this, nothing bigger than this, nothing warms my heart more. And we get to do this for life, and to know that we've been brought into this earth to create this beautiful ripple effect, this beautiful waves of impact. No words. Yeah.
Very well said, Gema. Especially in the Asian environment, where parents work their ASS off, with one sole priority is to provide a better future for their children. But they forget that one of the biggest things that their kids need is their time, their freedom with them. And after years of doing everything with the idea of I'll just leave them with money, and the kids either don't want their money or have their money, and the whole relationship is not there. And what's the point? And here we have all this, not just giving time and freedom, financial, we are also giving it to them, like my daughter, my children, my family. So it's really, I 100% agree with both of you. If you were to look out there, what else? What else do you have? Nothing. Yeah, you can have something that makes you millions and billions, but that's just money. That's just money. Nothing else, I've seen big, super rich people with broken family. They just give their children money, and their children is waiting for the parents to die so that they can inherit the money. Come on, what's going on? 100% agree on that.
For me, it's of course the purpose that this Enagic business give us, to see the people achieve and fight against this sentence that I'm so used to hear in the park when a grandpa is with his children. They told me, yeah, I am growing up this my niece now, or my grandson, because I haven't had the chance to grow my own, to raise my own son, my own daughter. So now I am having this time with them. I think this is so sad. This is so common.
Yeah.
And I think this is the problem with the teenagers, with everything. It's all about timing. So what this business gives us is time. This is a real freedom, time. Time to do whatever you want to do with your time, because time is expensive. Time is very expensive. You need to pay things to have free time. And with this business, you can yeah, you can run the business a few hours that you really choose, that you really put these hours in a place that don't interfere with your dreams, and then let it be yourself in an environment that you are really free with your time. And of course, in our case, we are in love, we have two children, and we dedicate now all of our time to these beautiful souls that only have 3.5 year and 1.5 year, and they deserve us because they don't really need things, expensive things, nothing except our presence, and our presence is very expensive. It's not easy. I really saw fathers, mothers, parents that they are struggling, they are crying because they cannot be with their children, and they put their children here in Spain with 4 months, and they say goodbye to these children because these children are going to change, and they don't have another chance just to do that because they need to be at the office or whatever making money to provide food, and that's the reality, and that has been the reality. So this business model allow us to do something different if you want.
I think just now what Gema said is very true. A lot of people think that this kind of life doesn't exist, but it does. I always say, blessed are those who really know about Enagic and are actually doing it. Really, it makes a lot of difference. What do you think is important to have as a new member to see success in the Enagic business from your point of view? Let's say somebody joins the business in the next 30, 60, 90 days. What do you think are some very important things they need to do?
That's a great question. I think the first thing you need to have is a vision and a why. There's the vision of where you want to go, and then why you want to go there. For me, the beach, the sun. You can tell the sun. We're always in the sun. So like the sun, the beach, having location freedom, time freedom, supporting your loved ones, helping other people change their lives, whatever it is. Write out this vision of what you want to build. And spend time visualizing that every single day because it is going to become your reality. Visualize your vision, define it, create a vision board, whatever you want to do, right? There's lots of tools. But vision is super important, where you're going. And your why, because your why is going to be the reason of you to have consistency and discipline. And consistency and discipline, it's what's going to build your business, nothing else. It's great to hop on calls like this one and get inspired and feel the fire. But if you don't have a why that's going to lit that fire every day, nothing's going to happen. You can't be inspired 2 days and then let this go and then start in another week and then, a month in, I watch another call and that ignites a fire, and then I do something and then I stop doing things. Then you're not going to go anywhere. You need a big why. For me, very obvious. When we first started our business, I wanted location freedom, time freedom, It wasn't enough. What really made our business thrive was me being pregnant with our first daughter. When I held my daughter for the first time, and I held her little head and her little face and her little body, and I saw her and I was like, oh my God, I'm in love. And I'm never going to put my baby in anyone else's hands. She's mine to raise, and I have the privilege to be her mama, and David has the privilege to be her dad, and we're going to do this. And the system is not going to get in the way. And that is what lit me a fire that I cannot express. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping other mamas do the same, because what I felt this massive unfair situation, that the most unfair situation ever, choosing between making an income and being a mama. And I was like, no. I'm going to be a mama and I'm going to make an income and I'm going to make an impact. That is so important, that you have this why. And it doesn't have to be necessarily to be a mom. It can be anything for you, right? But it needs to be something that ignites a fire so deep within you that will take you through all of the bumps in the road. Because as you very well said, some people won't last a month, right?
Yes.
It's about what's my why, and that will put me through. And we have a technique that we learned called the 7 whys deep, where you ask yourself why 7 times until you feel that why. And a tip that I do want to give throughout your journey is that why and that vision will change throughout your journey. And that's okay. Allow it to change, but always tap into your why and your vision. For us, as I said before, we were thinking about location freedom and financial freedom and traveling to Malaysia and Bali and Sri Lanka, and just enjoying Southeast Asia. But when our baby was born, everything changed. We're like, no, it's all about being present parents now, right? And now we're in the midst of raising our babies, right? So we'll get into travel mode later, but It's super important to connect to your why and to have that vision. And then a very steady community, a support system in your community. Your support system won't be your mom, your dad, your sister, like amazing if they are. But if you're anything like us, when you're in a country where that wasn't the norm and everyone thought that we were crazy, then you need to have a support system within your community, your accountability buddies, your mentors. It's very important to have that support system there, and get yourself with people that want the life that you want and only take advice from those that have the life that you want. It's great that you listen to your parents and you listen to auntie whoever, that's amazing, but only please listen to them if they have the life that you want. So if someone is giving you advice on parenting and you think that they have an amazing relationship with their kids, awesome, take their advice. But if they're giving you advice on business and they do not have the career path that you want, why are you listening to Uncle Tom? Like, it makes no sense. Uncle Tom does not know what he's doing. You know, he's been working for 60 years. He's still making like maybe 6K a month. An awesome 6K is a great salary, but you know what? Uncle Tom never goes on vacation. Uncle Tom is never with their family. Uncle Tom is always working. So why listen to Uncle Tom? It just makes no sense. So listen to those that have the life that you want.
I would say that the most important thing is believing in yourself.
Right.
Because from that, you can achieve whatever. So if you believe in yourself and you find this, you came across to this opportunity and you relate that at some point of your life, thing just doesn't click for you, but now there is a way to achieve your dream and you believe in yourself, then be coachable, be humble, just copy with your own style, be authentic, and perseverance. Perseverate there because everything is about perseverance. The only thing that is between being a dash 3 and a dash 5 is time. And between 4A and dash 3 is the same time. Is a beautiful journey, is the same journey for all of us. So it's perseverance. But for me, the key is perseverance. Once you believe in yourself and you are humble and you are coachable, coping with your own style, perseverance. Because that's, for me, the harder part. When you are perseverating and you didn't see these results in the everyday, because these results are cycling. So you need to perseverate today to achieve this in the long term. And the long term is beautiful. It's so beautiful. And 4 years, they are nothing compared to the plan, to the alternative that they have for us. That is putting ourselves until we are going to die and say goodbye to this life with any joy at all. So if you want to change this destiny, that is the normal thing, because yeah, again, as Gema just told us, when you are speaking with a normal people, they told us, yeah, but you need to put your child in the system, but you need to go to work, but you need to not to be happy, because this world is not to be happy. It's not for this. You need to be a slave, as we are. We are all a slave. What are you talking about? This is not even real. Are you crazy?
Yeah. Very true.
So, yeah, it's about believing in yourself.
Yeah.
And of course, they are going to question you. You are here to give answer to them. Only if your energy is an exchange of energy. If you don't notice that your energy is valuable for the people that you are speaking, just change the environment, change the people. There are a lot of people there that need to be, I don't know, need to be with you and with your vibes, because are they like you? And these people, maybe they are not in your city, maybe they are not close to you, but you can find them. They are for you, and this is your audience. So this is beautiful because you are not selling anything. You are changing lives. You are giving an opportunity that I really don't know any other business that give this. So please spread this message, because we need to save parents there. They are slaves. Parents are human beings that are selling insurance like crazy people in an office, and they feel slaves there. Yeah.
Amazing sharing. David and Gema, from the ad to the time you decide, okay, I'm going to start, how long did it take? Was it a long time? Couple of months?
No, I wouldn't say a long time. You know, since seeing the ad till we actually went through the DP, that was maybe like a month. back then we didn't have the systems that we have now. Like
So-
right now, things are way easier. They see an ad, they go into the DP. Back then, it wasn't like that. So obviously, it was a different
period
process.
or 2 months or
I'd say
something like that.
probably since we saw the ad till we connected with our mentor, it was probably like a month. And since we actually connected with our mentor, it was a matter of days. They just had like this event launch that she wanted us to go through, so we went through it. But yeah, it wasn't even a month. That's why I always say like being authentic is very important. When we sat down with our mentor and we spoke with her, we're like, this is it. Like, you know, I knew the business is what I wanted. Like we had already made the decision that we were going to do this, but speaking with her and being able to have like a one-on-one conversation was what was like, we just need
I
to do
remember we didn't know the prices, and we were thinking about 300 or something, and they say 10,000, and we say like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. And it's very important to understand as well. Like a lot of people say, hey, the price is, you know, it's low. And it's like, wow, how brainwashed have we been as a society? Like when we start to see a 10K investment into a business that's going to give you freedom for life as something expensive, something is utterly wrong. Because when you're about to buy a house that is like 30 times the price of the initial investment, you're like, yeah, sure. Wait a second. Let me give you my hands. Put on the handcuffs. Awesome. 30 years handcuffed here. I'm just going to be working to pay for this house. So like when I am about to die, it's already paid for. Yeah, sure. Take it. Everyone claps like, yeah, amazing. You're going to buy a car? Yeah, great. Take out a loan, 20K investment, whatever, double the price of what we start with the investment of this business. And yeah, pats in the back, amazing. But then you
or
say
even,
like, hey,
or even worse, that television.
or TV, whatever, right? And then you're like, okay, now I'm going to invest in a business. Are you sure? It sounds like a scam. Are you sure? That sounds like, no. What if it's a scam? You're like, and what if it's not?
Yeah.
Yeah. What if it does work out? What if it changed my life forever?
The real fear is not the money. It's never the money. The real fear is just doing something different.
Yeah.
Maybe have success. Is something like that.
But again, it all comes down to surrounding yourself with people that have the life that you want and surrounding yourself with people that vibe, right? Because we are just raised in an environment where you get like your closest family, and then you also get like your closest friends, and that's all you know, and then your co-workers, and it's just such a small world where we get to expand way more. And for us, we had to overcome a lot of mindset issues at the start of our business. It took us a long time to overcome all of those mindset issues. It was very much ingrained. I always have like that sentence of my parents when I was growing up. They would always like, Gemma, money doesn't grow on trees, right? That's what my dad used to say, because he worked his ass off to pay for everything for us. And my mom always said to me, you know what? You need to choose between time and money, but you can't have both. So you have a lot of time on your hands and barely any money to do anything fun, or you have a lot of money, but you barely have time to enjoy it. And those two things were pretty much ingrained, right? And I was brought up in this way where I had to like be the top of my class and the top, and I did it, you know, I did it. I was always top 5 of my class. I graduated high school as at top of my class. I graduated uni. I got like an extraordinary prize and mention for being one of the best of my uni degree. Like I was always doing what I was told. And Lord, when we learned about this and I finally overcame my analysis paralysis, because bear in mind, when you're raised in this way, you're so scared of failing. Right? You're so scared of failing because that's what the school system teaches. So
that's the real fear.
When we went into the business, I was so paralyzed, and David would be like, Gemma, stop it, you know, like do things. And I was just like, no. He was like, you're in analysis paralysis. And I had this big analysis paralysis and so many mindset issues to overcome. But once you're able to overcome those things and understand that perfectionism only leads to analysis paralysis, and imperfect action always outweighs no action at all. And when you really overcome this and you tap into this, and thank God I had David by my side to guide me through that, everything took off.
That's a very powerful key insight. Yeah, a lot of people are just so mentally held back by their programming that they can't, that even if there's a treasure chest right in front with all the gold bars, they will not go out and reach it and take it. That's the true reality of the world today. When you see an ad, the ad has two factors. One factor is the person in that ad, and then there's the Enagic factor, where it's the opportunity, the products, the company, Which part of this thing actually created a more confidence? Was it you came in because you saw that person and you want to join that person, or you came in because you felt very connected to Enagic?
I think it really comes to how you run your business. So people run their business in different ways, as you very well know, Gary.
Yeah.
So it really depends on how you're running your business.
Okay.
But the way David and I run our business and how our community mainly runs their business, I always say you don't buy the product, you're buying the person.
Okay.
It's the person that you buy. It's the trust, the belief, okay, this is a real human
Okay.
that has achieved the life that I want, and I'm going to create a bond with this person, and I'm going to go all the way with them. And the belief there. Yeah. Then you understand the product, you understand the business, you understand everything. And that's when everything clicks. Everything clicks then. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a perfect combo. It's like, yes. And I always say this as well, when I'm doing my own sales calls, which I barely do now, but when I do them, and every time I've done them, I've done so many. I always say, if every single pore of your body says yes, then this is for you. But if there's pores in your body saying no, don't start the business with me, because I'm a power yes. And we do this together in a yes mode. And you need to feel it. You need to feel that connection, in this case to me, but whoever you're starting with, right? But you need to feel the connection and the oneness, and be able to understand that in this world, we're all one. And we're all going towards the same thing and have the same ethics and the same alignment, and understand that you're not doing this business to make money. You're doing this business to change lives. And by changing other people's lives, you change yours. And by being able to do that and connect into that mission, then everything clicks. So yes, the product is super important. The business is super important. But what is important is who you're starting with, because you're connecting. And that's what's going to process the sale, who you're connecting with. The rest comes after. And if you're able to create that connection, then the duplication is crazy. And that's why we always have so many leaders ask us, like, how do you have so much duplication rates? And I feel that's the key, because you genuinely care about the person that you have in front of you. And you genuinely care that that person's going to go with you all the way to the top. And when you establish this connection and you allow the magic to happen, the sky's the limit.
Yes, and also it's important to give a sneak peek of the vision. The message that you put in the ad is so important. So I would add also the aesthetic, because of the ad is important, and the authenticity, because at the end of the day they want to be you, and they want to have your lifestyle and your vision. They want to be where you are at. So every time I wrote a message for the ads, it's thinking about the dreams, the vision that they can achieve, that they are looking for, even though they didn't know. But it's like, here is a window of a different world. So they can sneak peek of this different world, but this different world exists. And this is real. And then is when they go to your Instagram profile and check who you are, how do you speak, and start to build this trust with you. Of course, the person is key. But with the ad, I would say a sneak peek of the vision, which involves the person in the ad, a sneak peek of this powerful message. And at the same time, being compliant with all the rules in Enagic and in Meta. This in both of them.
Yeah, TikTok or wherever you're running ads, it's very important to be compliant everywhere. Yeah, being compliant should be easy, and because we don't have to oversell what we have. What we have, there's no words to describe the power of what we have. There's no need to make false claims, because what we have is incredible. And most importantly, if you want to create like a genuine connection, and if you want to actually impact that person's life, because it's very difficult if you just connect to the product per se. Like, again, how strong do you have to be? I mentioned this when you asked, like, what would you recommend for people that are getting started in the next 30, 60, and 90 days? And community is key. If you don't have someone to lean on, someone that you look up to, and not just one person, like, you need a community here. It's very difficult for one person solo to move. We move as one.
We've seen a lot of example of this, because in the past with our other company, the insurance company, this insurance company hasn't had a face or a family behind it. It was only a logo. This is not the way to sell anything, not in social media.
The different people do the business in different ways. The way we do business is from the heart. It's from creating impact. I don't really care how many K8s are sold. What I care for is how many families have this water in their lives, and how many families get access to being able to change their lives forever, financially and health wise, right? That's what's important. So if I only lead with the product, and again, when I first started, we actually thought about like, okay, maybe we just focus on the product. And for a couple of months, I've just focused on the product. And yeah, we made a couple of sales, and it was great. Like we made a couple of sales in from the K8 itself. And I remember especially one of the girls that started, but she had this chronic illness, and she was very young, like 20 or 20, yeah, I think 19 or 20 years old. I'm not very sure. She was very young, and she was stuck in this wheelchair because of her chronic illness. And when she bought the K8 and she started drinking the water, she messaged me like, okay, today I was able to walk and get out of the wheelchair. And then she messaged me like a week after, and she was like, I didn't actually have to sit in the wheelchair, and everything was going so amazing. I was just like, wow, this is incredible, right? And then she messaged me probably like a couple of weeks after, and she was like, oh, now I'm not feeling well. I was like, well, what's changed, right? And she was like, well, I just went to work, and that clicked. I was like, okay, so now you've got a health tool that's got you out of the wheelchair, but you're back in the wheelchair because of the stress that your body is suffering because you're working a 9 to 5. So it clicked, and I was like, I'm not changing this person's life because I'm not teaching her how to build a business. If she had the tools to build this business, she would have all complete true health, what Enagic stands for. And that's how I understood this is more than the product. And again, I want to change my life, not just health-wise, but everything that comes with, I need to support others to build the same.
Wow, that itself is worth $10 million. Amazing. Yeah. That person is not just suffering a physical illness, he's suffering emotional, mental, and whole entire issue. So yeah, just by a lot of people thinks that the water, I mean, yes, definitely the Kangen water is amazing, but it's not everything, okay? If you are still going out there stressed up, drinking alcohol and eating not right, you're not going to get a abundance health from it by just drinking Kangen water. Thank you so much for enlightening us on that. David and Gema, let's just say we have a time machine, and with everything that you know until today, you get to go back 5 years when you start Enagic. How would you play the game differently? Will there be something you want to do differently?
Yes, maybe be at the beginning less impatient. We were like impatient, like very aggressive with the ads. I remember we were newbies and there were no such a system. So we were between this analysis paralysis and then take an action so fast. So this leads us to, I don't know, shut account down or be so discouraged to leave the business for and be so intermittent on no perseverance in this. So I would say be more coachable now that we have the resources, be perseverance there, and yeah, have faith in the process. It's true that we were pregnant, but we discovered that we were pregnant 3 months later. We were with less energy. So yeah, it's all about putting the energy in the right place.
I think for each of us it was different. I think David has an amazing mindset. He's always had an amazing mindset. So that's never been his issue. His issue has been more like eagerness, yeah. Like I want things now. Come on, let's roll. It has to happen now. So eagerness is more his what he could have maybe worked on most when he started. And for me, it was definitely analysis paralysis. Like honestly, I always say the system was very ingrained in me. I was just like this perfectionist, top of the class. I need to do things by the book, and if this is not written in the book, I will not try it. So it was just like, and David was like, come on, Gemma, that's not how entrepreneurship works. And that's how I understood as well. And then it was a teacher too, right? So for me, not listening to authority was massive, and trying different things. I was just like, no, so scared of failure, so scared of making a mistake. Again, the system was very ingrained in me. So I wish I had listened more to David when he was like, stop it with the analysis paralysis. I don't regret it though, because I feel it's been an amazing journey. And I feel I can really help others now when they're going through this moment, especially if they're anything like me, which again, a law of attraction, right? Definitely most of our leaders are very like me. So we go through it together, and I'm able to coach them there. But I think for me, analysis paralysis was the biggest thing, and understanding that I am my own authority. And that really, what really changed everything was Niam, our baby girl, because I remember even speaking with my mentor, it was just like, I want to be my own authority. I want to stop listening to what my parents taught me, what my in-laws tell me, what people that I love tell me, or what the system is telling me I need to do. I want to stop listening to that and rewire my brain and become my own authority and step into my own truth. And when my baby girl was born, oh boy, did she make me my own authority. Like literally when she was born, I defied everything. I was just like, I mean, I'm not going to go too deep into motherhood, but I do want to express this a little bit, right? Because before Naya was born, again, I was listening to what I should be doing. And when she was born, I was just, even before she was born, like in that process, I remember advocating for my own birth and advocating for my baby to use a bathtub, and for us to, you know, go into a natural approach when giving birth, and breastfeeding, and really, really, really advocating for my breastfeeding journey, because it's not something that is easy in any way, shape, or form. And same with co-sleeping and all these things, where I was just feeling like this natural connection, and I felt it was my birthright to defend what I wanted, what my husband wanted, and what my baby girl deserved. And stepping into that authority as a mother had a ripple effect on our business.
Wow.
So I really, really, if there's something that I can give a tip on, if I could go back, again, I don't regret anything. And I feel I really trust in divine right timing. And I know things happen when they need to happen. But if I could go back and speak to the Gemma of 5 years ago, I'd hold her hand and I'd say, first of all, you've got this, believe in yourself. You're going to step into your own authority. And the moment you unleash that authority within you, and you truly, truly, truly allow yourself to lead with the heart, is when everything is going to unfold.
And also having perspective, because at the beginning you cannot have this. At the beginning, you need to focus in the gratitude of every movement that you achieve. Everything, every step that you are, I don't know, building a form, building a funnel, everything that you have is valuable, because you are building something very powerful, something bigger than you, but at that moment you cannot see it. So if you are able to have perspective and focus on this one that are having success now, and how they build their business step by step, the same way that you are building now, you can take this perspective that, okay, today I'm here, but I'm going there. So for me, comparing is a good thing, to know that you are also capable of doing exactly the same, because these people are super normal people, as just like you, just they started sooner. So having this perspective that you are building a mountain, you are building an empire, you are just entering in this new area, in this new city, and bit by bit, day by day, you are conquering this city, because your destiny is over there in the mountain, being this emperor of this land.
What an insightful sharing. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. When you decided to start and you start taking action, maybe doing content, putting out ads, how long did it take you to make your first sale?
Ourselves, I don't really remember. I think it was a month. It was maybe 4 months, 5 months.
At the
4 or 5 months. That means
like
4 or 5 months, every day you are putting out ads, and only in the 4th or 5th month you got a sale.
Between the fourth and the sixth.
No, that's not right. No, that's not right.
Okay. Okay.
Because when we, again, this is 5 years now. We have different systems, right?
Okay.
And our journey is different because we had different systems. So I'm gonna try and give a little bit of
Okay.
context of like then and now.
Okay.
Motivate everyone, right? Because that's what we're here for. So when we first started, like nearly like 4.5 years ago, we had something called School of Marketing, not 6-week business launch that we have now. So everything was pretty much unstructured and pretty much catered like fend for yourself, basically. So we did that. It took us like 2 months to go through all of the content, and then we launched our first ad with a very low budget, and it wasn't not a compliant ad. So we got a couple of leads come through. We're super excited, a couple of signups, and then boom, our account got shut down. It took us like 2 months to put it up. So can you see how much time was in between, right? It wasn't steady like it is now. So yeah, that's why it took us that time to get our first sale, and then like a couple of months later for our next sale, and then that's when things started to pile up and we started to place sales consistently. When David actually started to understand the ad system, he's the ads pro, and perfection the system, especially for the people that were joining us, because it was like if they go through what we went through, it's going to take ages, right? And we had to perfection. That's why I always say like what we have now, it's too good, because like we have now the I think it was like 6 months ago, the quickest our girl has made it online. No experience with Enagic, no experience in MLMs, no experience with anything whatsoever. She came through and she hit 4A in 3 months. So
Wow.
I think it's incredible to understand the quality of the systems that we have now.
Okay.
Literally a mama of three, a mom of three,
Okay.
living in the mountains, no experience whatsoever, just wants to create a different life, comes through, but goes through the system, follows step by step, 3 months, 4A. So this is doable because of what we have now. Back then, it took us way more, and even for our mentor, it took her 9 months to place her first sale.
We
Right.
were
So-
creating this system. Back then, we were creating this system. We were part of the creation of this system, and yeah, all of this was all over the place. Some of the things were not compliant at all,
Right.
and everything was pretty new. It's true
But
that the algorithm now works in a different way, and you can more or less take advantage of some of the things of the algorithm.
not everybody, the speed varies from people to people, right?
yeah, a lot.
And because you see, in the offline world, it's a very straightforward thing. I call my friend, I make a presentation, and probably 1 or 3 meetings later, I close the deal. Either it's a yes or no. But I understand from the online community, it's more of content writing and the A/B testing, which is a better message than you are sending out. So would I be right to say that we need to be consistent in our action, make changes, and have faith that your action will lead to a result, right?
You're very right. With
Yeah.
ads, it's about having faith, putting them out there, and then having faith and tweaking whenever you need to tweak. And David can really
Right.
talk more about that with ads. And then what I would say is your online presence needs to be very consistent, because just bear in mind, people need to know you.
Right.
Who are you? Like,
But-
hello, who is this
When you
person?
said when you said online presence, what do you mean by online presence?
So if for example, you're building your online, like if you're building your online business through Instagram, then you need to be putting out stories every day. You need to be
Okay.
building reels, having posts and sharing who you are. And this is key. Like, be authentic. Like, we
Right.
don't want the Gary in a suit trying to sell the
I know,
kite.
I
We want the
know.
Gary that is in Malaysia with his daughter, having the time of his life. Like, let us meet Gary, right? And
Yeah.
that's what's going to create the connection between the person that came through the ad and yourself. And that connection for some people takes 1 month, some people it takes 3 months, some people it takes 6 months. Doesn't really matter. And then that's what we call the compound effect. And like, for example, we had a month, was that our biggest month in business? I think we processed like, I don't know, 7 or 8 quads. Like, it was crazy. Like, directs, not even indirects. Just look at what happened with indirects as well, right? But just indirects, it was crazy. And it wasn't because that month we had an amazing ad. It was because of all the work that we were doing consistently, month in, month out, month in, month out. And then people were able to see me and see David, and they were like, "Oh wow!" I remember this girl clearly, a Spanish girl, and she was like, "I want to be on vacation like you guys, right? I want to have the life that you have. I want to be with my kids like you are. I want to be able to take my kids on to the zoo on a Monday." And like, one of my 2 of my leaders that I love and adore, they're my best friends more than business partners, and they always said, like, Monday it's library, Tuesday it's zoo, Wednesday it's swimming pool. And I was like, yeah, that's it, right? And they see that through what you're doing, and that's how the connection is created. And they see, like, if you can do it, they can do it, and that's when things happen. So yeah, ads are great. Put them out there, let them work, let them land on where you are. And then when they see where you are, make sure to show them what can be built. And don't question what if other people's opinions are bad. Who cares? Then they're not your people. The right
Yeah.
people are gonna stay, they're gonna come, they're gonna be with you, they're gonna create your community with you. Those are your tribe. Whoever doesn't like you, let them be. There's room for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. For instance, we know perfectly that you were having tea yesterday with your daughter, because it was it was a Labor Day.
Yeah.
So this kind of message, this kind of feeling, this kind of proximity is that everyone needs to be related, to want to have your life. So you need to be there for them, and of course you are going to share things that you really like and you really love, but there are authentic things at the same time.
How often do you all actually post on your social media? Is it every day? And questions are always asked, do y'all get overwhelmed or burnt out, having to consistently think of contents to post, that kind of thing?
I believe there's a misconception around this. The first thing is, like, right now at this point, we are definitely not where we want to be. Social media wise, we're not prioritizing that because we're prioritizing our team. Our team comes first at this point. Like,
Right.
as you grow, like when you first launch your business, you're focusing just on directs. And 4A, you're focusing on directs. 6A, you're probably doing 80% directs, 20% team. 6A2, you're doing probably 40% direct, 60% team. And then once you're dash 3, it's 95% or 99% team and the rest is direct. So our social media right now is not, we'll probably get back there and be where we want to be and how we were at the beginning. But that being said, when we first started and how we built everything, it wasn't about posting reels every day or 3 reels a day or crazy things. Like, you can definitely do that if you're going the organic route, and we are not the organic gurus. So not gonna speak on that. If you're running ads like we did and you're a genuine normal human like we are, and you're like, I want to be able to work 2-3 hours from my phone, then as long as you create stories every day, you're good to go. And then post and reels, whatever aligns with you. You want to do 3 a week, that's awesome. You want to do 2 a week, that's awesome. Whatever aligns and goes with your lifestyle. And when it comes to posting stories daily, don't overthink. Share your life. Again, it's just taking the people with you on your journey. It's not about, wait, let me go to the beach and take a picture of the waves. Who cares about the waves? That's not what they're looking for, right? What they want to see is, hey, I woke up in the morning, my kid has a fever. Whose kid doesn't have a fever here and then, right? Like, whose kid is not sick here and there? Thank God my kids are super healthy now, right? But every now and then they'll get a sick bug, and that's totally normal. So you can share that. And you can, like right now, for example, for us, it's a very sunny day. And as soon as we end this call, we're going to bring the kids to the park. So you can just film our kids in the park, like we're in the park with the kids, right? Like, that's it. You don't need to do anything crazy. It's just share what you do on a day to day. You hop on a call for an amazing community, take a picture, put it on socials, whatever it is you're doing, just share your journey. It's not difficult. Just it needs to stay in alignment with who you are, what you're building, and have this approach of inspiring others to create the life that you're aiming for.
Generally, is to be authentic. You don't have to like fake it till you make it kind of thing, right?
I believe that if you fake it, you're going to attract fake people and you're going to have a fake community. If that's what you want.
You can think this as a circle, because when you are launching these ads, you are attracting people to the organic content.
Right.
And this organic content is going to be keeping the algorithm, and because of this, the algorithm is going to show your ad. So it's a circle. So maybe you can have 2 different ads, for instance, and in the ads, you are also showing your life, a sneak peek of your lifestyle with this message. And the people are going to your profile on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and there, of course, they are going to see your post, but your stories the most, because they are more interested in your daily, the daily basis. So you can see this as a circle. With ads, it's so powerful, and only with organic, you can do that, but this is harder because you need to be there more constantly with all the content. So yeah, it's for me, it's more about this circle, creating this storytelling about your life that is, of course, true and authentic. Yeah, and flow with this.
Amazing. What do y'all think about Enagic as a company and Mr. and Mrs. Oshiro? What's so different about this company?
I remember go at Tenerife. We were all together there listening him, and he spoke about Mr. Oshiro, about the vision of Mr. Oshiro. Mr. Oshiro was, in this business of the record machine, and he, from one day, he just went broke, and he started this business, I believe, with more than 40 years.
Yes.
So imagine that. And his vision was, I want people to be happy and have tons of money or abundance or freedom, whatever you want to think, but happy.
Yes.
I want people happy here and with money. So I've never met or know anyone that has this truly desire. And I can feel this dream in my veins.
Wow.
I can feel that this is true.
Right.
Because it's the structure. If you take a look of the compensation plan, if you take a look of the more than the 60% of the profits are going to the distributor chain, this is there to be happy, to have abundance. So yeah, for me, this is different, and this is the only company that I know that nobody want to sell their business. They want to be happy inside the company.
What a great insight. And my final question to both of y'all, if somebody is here as a newbie and want to be as successful or even more successful like you guys, what's your one biggest advice to this person?
Be humble, have faith in yourself, have faith in yourself, believe in yourself. From there, you can achieve everything. And I would add, be humble, be perseverance, and be coachable, because we have the system. So you only need to believe in yourself.
I would say really, really allow yourself to tune into who you are and give from that place. And I know this might sound weird, but that is the key, in my opinion, to everything. Everyone is love. We are one. And when you truly, truly, truly give from a place of love to others, you can empower them to tune into themselves so they can keep on giving. And there's beautiful effect that goes on. So really, really allow yourself to create the vision of what you want, believe that you can create that vision, and tune into yourself. Let the love that you have get out of yourself to others. And from there, everything will fall into place. The more authentic you are, the more you tune into yourself, the more you allow your desires to come out and to tune into those desires and create them and bring them to life, the more abundance will come to you.
Very well shared. Thank you, guys. Thank you, David. Thank you, Gema. You guys have been an amazing star. Thank you, guys, for tuning in. We are so privileged to have you all with us. We have learned so much. And to all of y'all watching this, I have only one request from me. There's a saying, knowing and not doing is not knowing. For everything that you heard from this couple today, if everything is you just heard as a theory, yeah, it's nice. It's nice entertainment. Just like you see Mission Impossible. Only it's not Tom Cruise here. But nothing is going to happen until you do something called action. Do us a big favor. Put at least 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 things today that you learn into action and start seeing the magic happening in your life. With this, thank you so much. And I wish you all a great day. See you at the top. Bye-bye.